opportunity to talk about starter snaps, and Jacob Powell asked an interesting question that I'm going to ask DC and Xavier to really chime in on. Simeon and I gave a little bit of an opinion on it on yesterday because we've been very positive about what's happening out there in the real world with Alabama football and in the recruiting class and the size of the class and all of those things. And I want to apologize to those who may be jumping in on the live stream. We were had a little issue with it coming live, but we're rolling, and we invite you to get in on the conversation this morning. So, XDC, Simeon, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, let me bring you guys up to speed. Yesterday, we talked about just the recruiting class as a whole with Kennington, rehashed that with him, not necessarily wanting to go down that path as much as we did. But one of the things that we talked about um, DeBoer saying, and I'm going to play that audio because it's a term that I haven't heard other coaches use, and it's part of why I think he thinks this team, and maybe we as Alabama fans should be a little bit more excited about what this team brings to the table in terms of their age. And there's one other thing that I'm going to add to that conversation, but he used the term starter snap. So here's what he had to say, and I want you guys to respond to that.
Guys, I mean, six for sure that played starter snaps the last quarter to third of the season. Latsier Brooks, London Simmons, we got Caleb Edwards, Michael Carroll, Justin Hill, Dijon Lee. I can just keep on going down the road there with those guys. So that's just last year's class. Then you got the class before with Xavier Brown and those guys that are still kind of young, but they're getting older and they've played a lot of downs for us. So, I didn't even mention Ryan Williams, right? So you got to take that with you too. So, but yeah, it is going to affect. It is going to affect. Those guys are potentially on your roster longer, and we probably didn't go in with as much of thinking the 5-for-5 would impact our roster, and we were more along the lines of we have a lot of these guys that are coming through our program that are still in those first, second, and third years, very few seniors. But now, I think we just said there's 2 to 3. There's 3 guys really on our roster, I think, that can get an extra year now, even that are technically seniors, So, and that trickles on down to other guys. So we're making those adjustments. We're thinking about those things. Again, we're going to focus on now.
All right. So he said these guys play starter snaps, okay? And we've talked about the importance of reps, right? So even though Alabama has a young team in terms of juniors, seniors, freshmen, sophomores, are they a little older than what we anticipated?
DC.
Well, I think what he's talking about there is at least old and experience wise. I think, as we all know, we've talked about getting repetitions, and I think when you get those repetitions in practice, you have to realize if you're getting starter snaps, you're actually getting reps in practice to get you prepared for the starters. And when he's talking about starter snaps, he's had kids, young ones, freshmen, come in, participate well enough in practice, participate well enough in learning everything in the playbook, get the reps in practice in order to translate that to the game time, and then get those reps in the games to an extent that they got as many reps as some of the starters that may have started the year got those reps. So I think, when you get that experience, you come away with a much seasoned, more veteran team than you would have with the players who didn't get that. And then, in the past, we all talked about that, right? When did the players get enough snaps? Did the former coaching staff play enough players to get snaps? And I think Coach DeBoer does it a little differently, and you got a little more seasoned team because of that.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at it, it's the guys that have played a lot of snaps, whether those guys be incoming sophomores, juniors, whatever you want to talk about, that have been on the field since their freshman year. But how many guys haven't? Yes, we talk about six true freshmen last year playing a lot of snaps. Well, Alabama signed 27 players. So that's 21 guys who didn't get those snaps. So the ones that are,
No. It wasn't that these guys got starter reps,
I
meaning there's a big difference between didn't play and starter snaps.
okay, but if we were to actually go down the list from the 2025 class and go, okay, we know Caleb Edwards, Michael Carroll, Latsier Brooks, Dijon Lee, Justin Hill, the guys he named, we know they played a lot of snaps. Now let's talk about, and we had one guy transfer out of that class, so there's 20 other guys still in this class. What do their reps look like? What do their snap counts look like
What
going
every
into
other
year two?
freshman, every other freshman in
And
the country looks like.
so like I said, the guys that have played starter snaps have a ton of snaps and a ton of experience. What do the rest of the guys have? If they just have freshman regulars, yes, that's beneficial, but it's not. It's still 20 guys that you probably are expecting to help your team this year that don't have a ton of snaps.
So Xavier, I think you're looking at it the wrong way. When I played, we had 3 freshmen play period that didn't, and one of them got starter reps.
And
We
I
we had
get
a
it.
class of 25 or 26 that all got redshirted.
Sure.
Didn't even play special teams. Did he
Yes.
didn't play at all. He has 21, he has 6 or 7 that got starter snaps. He has all of the ones from the year before that got starter snaps. So even though they're freshmen and sophomores that technically never started, you have you have more starters than you typically would have in a freshman and a sophomore class.
To a certain degree, yes, and I get that. Like once again, I'm saying the guys that have played a ton have played a ton.
That's
The last 2 years, the guys that have played a lot of snaps have played a lot of snaps. I'm not denying that. And yes, it is different than 1988, 1989, where when you redshirted and you didn't play at all. Now they get up to 4 games. But what are those 4 games? You see what I'm saying? Like it. What are those four
more,
games?
more than what Saban was giving. More than what 99% of the other coaches out there are giving.
And once again, your redshirt freshman year, right? Y'all went 10-2, and was it if you beat Auburn, you play Miami for the national championship. How many seniors were on that team? Fifth year and fourth year.
Not a lot.
What's not a lot? Okay, is it more than 9?
Oh, but Xavier, I think you're missing the whole point of the conversation. The whole point of the conversation is he has aged his team better
Yes.
than most people. You're looking at it from the fact of the guys who didn't play. In other programs, those guys, nobody got starter snaps. Simeon, you got any comment on that? I think
I mean, yeah,
from
yeah.
from
Well,
who didn't play. The whole point was that DeBoer aged his team by getting freshman and sophomore for back-to-back years starter snaps.
I, I, I mean, having let's just go look at like the guys that have played and that we're expecting, because I think there's a few guys that have quality snaps that maybe might not consider starter snaps that still played a ton. Derek Meadows, would you say Marshall Pritchett got some quality PT? So those two guys, so that's 25 class. Maybe AK Deer, maybe kind of. He got borderline.
Hold on.
But
AK
that's still a handful.
AK Deer was the second team guy a couple times.
So that's just from the 25 class. So that's a couple more guys that I'm just pulling off right now, and so that's 8 or 9 guys just from the 2025 class that have in 2 years have gotten quality points, quality starter snaps. But it doesn't what DeBoer's trying to say, or I think what you're trying to say is that even though this team is young, this team has starter snaps of because most of those freshmen and sophomores don't play until they're junior and seniors. These freshmen and sophomores have played so much as freshmen and sophomores. Now they're sophomore and juniors, so they have the experience, the on-field play of guys that are juniors and seniors.
Right.
If you want to do snap count,
DC, and I'll let DC respond. Jacob said X is looking at it from a realist point of view. Coaches like to sell you the good stuff. X is indicating what the board didn't say. I would see your point, Martin, if we had an older team, but we have a young team. Y'all have been saying this the last several months. That's the point. We have a young team, but our team isn't as young as a typical sophomore and junior and sophomore team, DC, because we got starter reps into those years. Go back and look at Saban. Jonathan Allen did not play as many starter snaps as a 5-star in his first 2 years. Nick Saban lost a championship, DC, because he had 5-star wide receivers that he didn't play when he was blowing people out. And
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to.
He had all these 5-star. Do what?
That's what I was alluding to earlier. Without saying that, I did. What I was alluding to was what I think Coach DeBoer has done a really good job of is getting more players, more playing time to be ready, so that when we got a team this year that we can call, all of us can agree it's a young team. It may be young in years, but not so young in experience.
That's my point.
If they were in another year, say 4 years ago, if we had this young of a team, that team would have near the experience because of the way that they were played during that time. But the way that DeBoer has played his players, played the freshmen, and I understand what X is saying, but X is saying it from a perspective of, yeah, he did pay these 6 guys. What about the other 20 that didn't get playing time? Well, we're not comparing against those. We're comparing against previous years where, like you said, 5-star wide receivers never even touch the field and blow out games. To even give less than starter snaps, just a few snaps too. And so now we've got these 9 players with starter snaps. The other 5 that already Simeon's rattled off that's got meaningful snaps. And so when you talk about starter snaps, meaningful snaps, or no snaps, we're in a much better position experience-wise this year.
Right.
When you look at it, even though we have a young team.
Yeah, and so I get, Xavier, what you're saying, and I'll let you close out with a rebuttal. But what I'm saying was the starter snaps, typically you would not have this many guys 2 years in that have starter snaps, that have never started. Okay, like Justin Hill has never started a game. Typical backup at that position a year after a freshman year wouldn't have played meaningful minutes. Most guys coming into their second or third year that have never started have played snaps like our quarterback has played. Okay. And so the other part that I did not get to add to that I'll add to that is these sophomores, understand, I was on campus 2 weeks, got to compete and run Alabama's playbook for 2 weeks, and never got to practice. After that, I was running scout team the rest of that year, my freshman year. Wasn't getting reps on Alabama's playbook, and didn't get to run reps until I went to a spring. These guys, a lot of them have already, the freshmen have already been, true freshmen have already been through a spring, been running the playbook for multiple weeks on end, running all summer. So they already are way ahead of where we were even after our redshirt freshman year. That's where they're already at. So they're like, And every other school has that. So when you get guys who get meaningful snaps, it expedites where they really are in terms of experience. We're still a young team, but could you imagine if this coaching staff played players the way Saban did that were not starters? That's the point I'm trying to make, not that we have this old, experienced team and all of that. I'll let you close it out.
No, I mean, and I get that aspect of it too. And to be fair, do I think Nick Saban should have played younger guys more? Absolutely. But Nick Saban, even with as many guys as he put in the NFL, because he was able to stack the roster, always had multiple juniors and seniors on the roster that you were just going to have to wait your turn. Versus this situation with DeBoer, the team was depleted. So it wasn't even as much of a, oh, I want to do this, which I believe it was part of it, but it was, I have to do this to get my team experience, to get guys on the field.
And that's the point I'm making, Xavier, is that he did it. Not every coach. I guarantee you, if you go look at a lot of other schools, you see freshmen. Why do you think so many guys left in the portal from other schools, DC? Because they
didn't get playing time.
Because they didn't see that rotation. They didn't see that we can come in and we're going to get to play. That's what I think. I think that the way he's played players compared to other schools, that's why you saw guys come here from the portal that didn't come here as freshmen, because they saw that he said you're going to have a chance to compete. And if you come in and can play, you're going to get to play. I don't think that's happening at other schools as much as it did here. My point wasn't that we have an old veteran team. My point was because he has gotten so many more guys starter snap, this team is older and has more experience than the typical freshman and sophomore class. So with that, we'll come back on the other side. We'll have a quick second quarter, and then we'll get into some deeper conversation.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you and happy terrific Tuesday. We are moving right along on the Tuscaloosa freeways and side streets. Nothing more than the usual here happenings. If you're traveling on Memorial Parkway at University, well, that's a little bunched up at the intersection right now. 2059 wide open from University to Joe Malisham. And also green for go on Lurleen Wallace. Not seeing any severe delays between 15th and McFarland. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Save more at Townsend Nissan. Sentra, $195 a month. Rogue, $288 a month. $6,000 off Pathfinders and 3 years of free oil changes. Townsend Nissan, your family in the car business.
Weather brought to you by Tidwell Chiropractic, the only third-generation chiropractor with over 28 years experience in Tuscaloosa. Call Tidwell Chiropractic at 752-7503.
Listen hourly for Tuscaloosa Thread local news updates powered by Tuscaloosa Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Tuscaloosa's destination for iconic Jeeps. Drive a new 2026 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 priced at $54,529.
Party at your place this summer? During July 4th deals at Lowe's, save $80 on select Charbroil Performance Series Gas Grill, now $299, and get up to 45% off select major appliances. Valid through 7/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
He's going for the big play, bends down and oof, lower back just threw a flag on the field. When pain hits, everything stops. The game, the yard work, even getting off the couch. That's when you call in the starting lineup at DCH's Spine Care Center. Dr. Sproul, Dr. McCormick, and Dr. Thomason. They treat back pain, neck pain, arthritis, joint pain, and more. No referral? No problem. Search DCH Spine Care on Google. DCH's Spine Care Center. Get back in the game.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog, but they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Our front paws, hands or feet.
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites, from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Watch for patchy fog this morning. Afterwards, sunshine and hot weather, 93. Light westerly breeze and a chance for an afternoon thunderstorm with a muggy low tonight down to 74. Wednesday and Thursday remaining hot, low 90. Sunny skies, continued chances for afternoon storms. Keep that umbrella handy. Looks like the pattern's going to continue right on into the weekend. Richard DeWetting of the Weather Channel for Town Square Media Tuscaloosa.
It's 72 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. And just to continue that conversation, I do think it is beneficial what Coach DeBoer and staff have done. The question is it enough? Just due to how young, just because realistically, starter snaps are great, but if you've only had 1 year of starter snaps and you're going up against a guy that's been a starter for 2 or 3 years, where's the advantage lie? And that's still the youthfulness that Alabama has to try to combat. Even when you look at one of your most experienced guys on your team that's been on your team is still just 19 years old.
Yeah. I guess the question I ask you and DC and Simeon does anybody else really, we focus totally on Alabama. Does anyone else have any older team than Alabama? Because we do have 20, almost 30 players that are in their third, fourth, or fifth year.
Are there teams that are older?
Are a lot older than us and have a lot more experience? Is there a lot of teams out there?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can find returning starters somewhere and then kind of base.
We're all on returning starters on the offense. But defense, we're overloaded.
Yeah. I mean, but I guess you have to look at we only got 2 returning starters on 3 if you count Hill. Yeah, we only got 2 or 3 returning starters on offense. And
that's not all bad though.
And that's a high. And there's a high probability that offense is led by by a second-year player that might have the fewest snaps of anybody on the offense.
But DC, do you think anybody else is any older or more experienced than Alabama? Really?
I think so.
Well, I mean, there could be some out there just simply because of the depletion that we had when Saban left. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
But I think that's a factor that other teams didn't have to deal with. So there may be somebody out there. But I think at this day and time where a transfer portal and players that were, taking, time to go to the NFL and not stay in the full 4 years or whatever. I think there's not going to be that many. There's not going to be a lot of teams out there that are going to have more as far as age than Alabama does. I'm sure there are some, but it's not going to be a lot, I don't think, in my mind.
I'm looking, and I don't know what the actual number is on returning starters, but I'm down to 8 returning starters, and I still don't. Alabama has 7 returning starters.
And then
that were true starters. 7.
Right. And you just made my point. True starters. Watson Brooks wasn't considered a true starter.
Yeah.
So Justin Hill was
on the list. It has Ryan Williams, Caleb Edwards, Michael Carroll, Young Xavier, Xavier Brown, Bray Hubbard, Keon Saab.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you could throw in Red.
We're young. Take it to the next.
See.
All right, let's get ready. We were going to talk about the letter really quick, but let's add it to the other side of the break. We'll be back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you and happy terrific Tuesday. We are moving right along on the Tuscaloosa freeways and side streets. Nothing more than the usual here happenings. If you're traveling on Memorial Parkway at University, well, that's a little bunched up at the intersection right now. 2059 wide open from University to Joe Malisham. And also green for go on Lurleen Wallace. Not seeing any severe delays between 15th and McFarland. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
With Taco Casa, it's not really fast food because it's made fresh every day in the store. The quality hasn't changed. The consistency hasn't changed because we haven't changed anything in the food. It's made fresh every morning in every restaurant. I think buzzwords in today's food industry are locally sourced and high quality ingredients. We want to say, that sounds great. We've been doing that since 1974.
Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa.
How will we ever defeat the British?
By remembering what we're fighting for. General, a country of our own that will one day celebrate 250 years. How will we celebrate, sir? By going to Tuscaloosa, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, where every vehicle is a dime.
A dime, sir?
Yes, one dime down at Tuscaloosa, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Hear, hear. With great price reductions on 250 vehicles.
It sounds glorious, sir.
Oh, it is. Thousands less for new Grand Cherokees, Ram trucks, Durancos, and more. All with a 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty. And financing, sir? Those with a job and a dime shall drive away.
One dime down.
The 250 sales event. Thousands off new and pre-owned. At Tuscaloosa, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. TuscaloosaCDJR.com.
And no tax, right, sir?
Well,
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, Call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-553-7217 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-553-7217. That's 800-553-7217. What do you have to lose? Call 800-553-7217. Again, 800-553-7217.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back in to the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. On this Tuesday edition, we have DC Capstone Report joining us as he always does. Now, there has been a letter that has been written by Alabama and Auburn speaking to the NCAA's Congress intervention and not wanting it. Were y'all surprised by this, especially when you've heard Saban pushing for this?
DC?
I was not surprised by it because what some and let me explain myself. What some people push for and want when you actually see what you get from the government, it's really not really what you wanted. And so I'm just being honest. I spoke on this before, and remember Martin asked me the question a long time ago was, can the government be the savior? And I said, absolutely not. If you're wanting the government to be your savior in something, you've already lost the situation because you're not going to get what you asked for.
You're in bad shape.
You're in bad shape. You're not going to get what you asked for. And the very thing that they outline in this letter, if you look at the summary of it, it's the same thing that Texas A&M did. I think they did this similar letter. Other rivalry schools have done the same thing. And it all points out the things that we talked about ahead of time. And one of them is the federal bureaucracy and the micromanagement and opening yourself up for so much litigation nationwide and that sort of thing. And so I wasn't surprised about it at all because I don't think you're ever going to get from the government what you really need. If you can't fix it yourself, you've messed yourself up trying to get the government to fix it for you.
Simeon?
Yeah. No, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. But when you're wanting the government or Congress or whoever to come in and fix something that's already been messed up, I mean, it's gonna take years to even get it passed through whatever. I mean, there's so much other stuff that the government and others are getting into that I just don't think it's smart to have, because they're going to come over and take it over, and then it's not going to be anything that anybody ever wanted. You think we're going to invite Congress into something and then them not take it over, or them just stay right in the little pocket where we want them to? No, that's just not how it works, and it's never worked that way. And so I understand why the University of Alabama and Auburn are teaming up on this, and they're like, we can govern ourselves, even though we don't know if they can do that either. But it would be much better than Congress coming in and taking control of everything.
There's a way to fix this. There is, but I do not agree that it is Congress because of everything that's been stated. Once they get their hands in things, it normally goes down the drain. I mean, we've got example and example time and time again for the last 75 to 100 years of them doing something, and the outcome and what's happened ends up being worse.
The government is like the devil. Give him an inch and he'll become your ruler. And so when you look at this, they literally said disputes will be handled in the courts is one of the big points. That's the whole problem right now, DZ, is that they already have that. That's number one. Number two is they want to become the governing body. Like they want to be the ones making the rules for college sports. Figure out how to govern our country, right? Figure out how to do that first. Number three is more socialism at its best. Hey, let's make everybody great by redoing how revenue is formed. I mean, split up. The SEC already has a regulation of how they do, and it's already socialist in its own setup that everybody makes the money, but at least it stays within the conference. and if you have the product that everybody wants to watch, then you get to make more money than the other conferences. They're talking about how revenue is distributed and who gets it and all that. So they went way over, and to me, it's a bad look for Saban, because he came out for it, and I understand why. He wants something done. So I think he wants the best, but he's not in the day-to-day of it, and he left because he couldn't handle or didn't want to handle the day-in-day of it. So with that said, I think it's a bad look that, first of all, the SEC and the Big Ten came out against it immediately. Now, think about how bad something has to be for Alabama and Auburn to partner.
Our Texas A&M.
Right? So I think that they're going to end up being the one. The only reason Congress needs to be involved is because you need a national structure that eliminates the litigation, not expedites it. It makes it easier.
Makes more litigation,
right? And the one thing that the NCAA needs the antitrust aspect dropped, and they did not do that.
Right.
And that's what's going to change college sports. Xavier, you said fixing it. But Simeon, before you take the break, does anyone else have anything for us? Mm-hmm. Everybody. All right. Well, one of the big things, Simeon, go ahead and get ready to set us up for break. Sorry.
Okay. Coming back on the other side, we will go back to the interview with Coach DeBoer and hit one thing that he said about the tight end room and Coach Owens and how big of an impact that will be for this team. Coming back on the other side, this is the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon, joined by DC. We will see you on the other side.
Brought it up. I mean, it's really, we were intentional, but it's also come together in a really, really good way. Coach Clem, actually, we brought in his guy that he had with him when he was at Oregon, Coach V. And I might be breaking news. I'm not sure if that is. I think probably it's out there somewhere on our website. But if not, Martin, we helped your show out with some breaking news. But he's got his right hand man. When they were together and had we faced them, and they had a really good offensive line there. So known Coach Clem for a while. Had his son actually on our football team at Washington while he was at Oregon. A lot of respect for him. And it's just really the timing was able to work out to where we were able to get him here this time. And I'm excited about that. I like the mindset. He's just some coaches when I was reaching out, some of the NFL guys that he worked for, just brought attention to his detail that he had, how efficient he was with how he spoke, the way people respected him. And I'm seeing that exact same thing in our room. you brought up a lot of names, right? And I think the key is that they're all aligned. And Coach Grubb, man, when I was, coordinating, and he, was right there with me at all those different stops. I really thought he was developing into the best offensive line coach in the country. He made his mind up to do that, and he was. And there's different things, different ways people see things, and we saw things a certain way. And I think he and Coach Clem have really meshed well together, and that's critical. When your play caller and your offensive line coach are working together, coming up with the solutions, identifying the weaknesses, and trusting that it's going to get addressed with the right teaching. So I love Coach Owens. That was awesome because he's NFL caliber and played in the NFL as a tight end. He brings the physicality as an offensive line coach and where he was doing that, but he also was, an offensive coordinator, at the FBS level, kind of working in that range in that way as well. So he gets the big picture. He understands the physicality that's important. He knows how to teach it.
Yeah. Well, Coach, you've been on. We thank you so much for being on.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good morning. Here's one of the top stories we're following for you this hour. 2 people have been found dead in Brookwood in what authorities are investigating as a double homicide on Monday afternoon. The victims were discovered on Alabama Junction Road. The Tuscaloosa Violent Crimes Unit does say that the deaths were apparent foul play. No other details have been released at this time. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more West Alabama news, sports, and weather coverage all throughout the day. It's free. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. We are moving a little slower on Skyland at Hargrove Road. It looks like that's just entrance and exit delays there, as well as right at 36th Avenue on Skyland Boulevard. That's also just slowing down just a bit for you, not too much. Now 2059 wide open and green for go from University to Joe Malisham and beyond. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Duracell, built different.
Weather brought to you by Tidwell Chiropractic, the only third-generation chiropractor with over 28 years experience in Tuscaloosa. Call Tidwell Chiropractic at 752-7503.
Save more at Townsend Nissan. Sentra, $195 a month. Rogue, $288 a month. $6,000 off Pathfinders and 3 years of free oil changes. Townsend Nissan, your family in the car business.
From remotes to automatic corkscrews, Duracell keeps you ready. Their double and triple A batteries are the only ones with power boost ingredients, built for long-lasting performance. Get the limited edition Duracell and Messy batteries in store at Lowe's, Walmart, or Amazon.
Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. They've been doing it the right way each and every day for 50 years and counting. If you're looking for a great option for lunch and or dinner, then you need to check out Taco Casa. Taco Casa, and while you're there, don't forget to get a big glass of that sweet tea. Visit them online at tacocasa.com. That's tacocasa.com. Quality, taste, and value on the biggest cactus in town. That's Taco Casa, tacocasa.com.
When it comes to custom apparel, trust your local experts at B&B Sports and Silkscreen in Northport. We specialize in team uniforms, event apparel, company branding, and custom hat patches. We offer professional screen printing, DTF prints, and embroidery with fast turnaround times and quality you can count on. Give us a call today for a free quote at 205-339-7361. That's 205-339-7361. Locally owned, locally trusted, and ready to bring your ideas to life.
After a wreck, everything you do matters. Say the wrong thing, your claim is denied. Miss a step, evidence disappears, and the insurance company closes their file. That's why you need protection now. You need someone who knows the process and protects your rights from the start. Call Ms. Reno. Dial 900-9000. That's 900-9000 for a free consultation, no fees unless we win. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be formed is greater than that of other lawyers.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-553-7217 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-553-7217. That's 800-553-7217. What do you have to lose? Call 800-553-7217. Again, 800-553-7217.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show with the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game. Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
So I love Coach Owens. That was awesome because he's NFL caliber and played in the NFL as a tight end. He brings the physicality as an offensive line coach and where he was doing that, but he also was, an offensive coordinator, at the FBS level, kind of working in that range in that way as well. So he gets the big picture. He understands the physicality that's important. He knows how to teach it.
Yeah. DC, take a moment and just respond to you can respond to the first part that we listened to going to break about coaches being on the same page, but specifically him talking about Owens and what he brings to the table.
Yeah, I think when he first started talking about Coach Clem and the people bringing in around the offensive line and just getting a cohesive coaching unit, coach all that, I think it's a great opportunity. And then Coach Owens coming in for the tight ends brings a unique piece of that puzzle because he has the physicality aspect, which would include the blocking, which would help in the run game, being more physical. And then also the passing or the offense, how it comes together as an offensive coordinator. So I think it's just a great addition the way he's put this staff together from the offensive line all the way down to the tight ends. It looks like I think it'll improve our running game and our passing game.
Simeon, you guys have any comments on that about Coach Owens?
Well, I just think everything that Coach Owens brings to the coaching staff, just from experience of offensive line, tight ends, offensive coordinator, that means he can understand every single position, not just the position that he's coaching. And so that's another head that, with an offensive line that had its struggles in the past, that's another voice of someone that you can trust that can speak into, offensive line play, but also the tight ends should be better blockers. And I think some of the guys that, like Josh Ford, that was brought in, will help, the offensive line be better as a whole.
Yeah, when we're looking at the way that this offensive line tight end room has been assembled and put together, it bodes well for things to come. And Simeon hit it. When you have a guy that played at the highest level, has coached at the highest level, has coached across the board offensively, he has a deeper understanding than normally you would expect out of your tight ends coach. So I think that helps Alabama's offense as a whole as well. And man, I'm excited to see these tight ends. I like all three of the guys that we hear a lot about, and can't wait to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah, you guys have hit the tight end conversation there. I'm going to play what Coach had to say. The three of us will probably save our comments till tomorrow, but I want to get DC's thoughts on what he had. Not just what he said about Owens, what he brings to the table that helps the mindset and the physicality, but also what he said about this tight end room. Fall at times.
That's the first thing I thought of when you said there was something you really liked. And I remembered we were in an I formation, I think in the spring game in A-Day. So I thought that was going to be the first thing you said, but then you got to it. Tight ends. I mean, tight end has been such a critical position to our offense for so many years. I mean, we had 2 to 3 of them out there, and you can shift and you can motion and you can extend edges and you can protect and just make pass rushers have to go a little further. There's so much you can do schematically, just by alignment, but also, chips and in the run game, you give yourself an extra gap. And you brought up Josh Ford, and, Josh, I mean, we haven't played one down of football yet this year, but I can tell you that his mindset and what he's done, he's come in and he's one guy that has helped just with the energy and us in the run game. He just getting after guys. And I know some guys don't want me to hear that he's been putting guys on his back because that's their own team that he's putting on the back, So then we got the argument the other way. But he did that in spring ball, and it becomes contagious, and that's what you got to have. And
all right. Yeah, due to time, DC, I want to let you respond. Like I said, guys, we'll break that down because there were so many things that he said there that we'll break down like phrase by phrase and what that means from the offense. But DC, what's your overall thoughts right there?
Well, 2 things. One is tight ends have been a great part of our offense for years now. He's not talking about Alabama's offense. I think he's talking about his offense, Brian Grubb's offense. And so having the tight ends that he needs or has to fill those roles in that offensive picture is going to be great. Open up a lot more plays. And 2, Josh Ford's a contagious energy. Sometimes you need a player who can go out there and knock someone on the tail to get that energy to the other tight ends and say, hey, that's the way we're supposed to be playing with that kind of physicality, even against our own teammates. It translates to other players. It'll translate in the game as well. So those are 2 things I took from that conversation.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll break it down more tomorrow in terms of the tight end conversation. DC, anything else from what we talked about today, or the letter, the O-line, the tight ends, et cetera? Anything that you want to hit with your closing thoughts?
Yeah, just quickly, just from an experience standpoint, I think when I say something like the government can't help us, everybody says, well, DC is generalizing. But from a personal perspective, just from my own interaction with the government, I was asked one time to go speak before a Senate House committee who was considering a new bankruptcy bill about a particular thing that I had experience and expertise in teaching, translating down credit management to debtors. And I did that. When spoke, they loved it. Everybody loved what I said. When the bill came out, nothing that I said was in the bill, and I was not qualified to teach the course that they developed. That should tell you what happens to the government when you try to get something done. That's what I'm speaking for. Don't let the government try to fix college football. It'll destroy it.
So you were the speaker on behalf of developing it, but they developed it in such a way that the person who was chosen to be the speaker couldn't teach the class.
Yeah, they developed in such a way that they enabled other people to make money by offering these courses that didn't have anything to do with what I was trying to teach.
Oh, now there you go. You just hit it. Thanks, DC. Tell them where they can find you, man.
Man, you can find it at DCCapstoneReport.com, DC Capstone Report Facebook page. You can follow me on Twitter at DavidCott50.
All right. Simeon.
I know from Jacob Powell and some of the comments, we have been wondering, been asked about the Houston Huddle. The Houston Huddle is not done. We will be continuing the Houston Huddle as football season approaches. We will break down game film. We will break down reactions. We will break down anything that comes along covering Alabama sports, but not just Alabama sports, football as a whole, and maybe sprinkle in some NBA basketball here and there.
Yeah, it's been a good one, and it is official. Simeon is banned from watching all sporting events that we care about. He watched the USA lose to Belgium last night, so he's just officially been banned. Yeah.
you don't know what that means, every time Simeon decides he's going to keep in on a sporting event that's not Alabama football, it's always, or basketball, it's always a blowout. So always. So, but anyway, thanks Maniac, thanks DC, thanks Xavier, Simeon, Chase. We appreciate you guys. I'm Martin Houston. Remember this: trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Roll Tide, everybody.
It's a celebration.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.